Hey y'all, hey and happy Friday. So listen, I miss y'all like the last couple of weeks, but I just really been basking in the glory of God and just thanking him for what he has done. And then over the last week, I was actually under the weather. I'm just starting to feel a little better. But I just wanted to come on and just share this with you guys. I want to share a quick testimony with you guys. Well, part of a testimony. And then I want to talk to you guys about what I sensed in my spirit last week concerning a lot of us in the body of Christ. I feel like a lot of us have lost our hope. We have lost our desires for the things that God has promised us. We have lost our belief. We don't have faith. Our faith is low right now. It's not as high as it used to be. Most of us have little faith, and that's because we're not able to hope in the things that God has promised us, right? Because we feel like um, we're not seeing it. It's not manifesting. We're not walking in what God has promised us. So last week God had really he just blew my mind with like the revelation that he gave me and he showed me, right? And I'm going to always go back to this. I feel like we should stay in the presence of God. I feel like we should stay in his face. We should stay in our secret place. We should always be praying. Why? Because it's in this place that God is going to give us revelation. It's in this place that God is going to begin to speak the secret things. He's going to begin to release the ideas that he has for us. He's going to begin to show us our purpose. He's going to begin to take the scales off of our eyes so that we can really see and hear in the spirit. And when we begin to get a revelation of what God is doing for us now, we'll begin to really walk by faith, because faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. So it's, although we don't see it in the unseen world, we know that it's there. Why? Because we've been in the presence of God, and God has begun to speak to us and show us what he has for us. So I think that's a place that we need to be in order to get our hope back up, so that we begin to hope again. We begin to hope in the Lord and trust in the Lord and believe in him. And I believe that most of us don't believe in him because we're not walking with him. We're not in a true relationship with him. It's just like a friendship, right? When you're in a friendship, the closer you are with that friend, the more you trust them, right? The more you hope and believe in them, the more you pour out yourself to them because you're in close proximity with them. I believe that's the same way with God. The more you walk with him, the more you talk to him, the more that you're in his face, right? The more he's going to be able to reveal things to you and show you, right? And that's going to help build our faith. So, quick testimony. I'm not gonna tell the whole testimony. I'm just gonna tell a piece of it. Um, because God just blew my mind. It just blew my mind with this. So I just want to say this: like, even when you feel like God is not moving, He's moving. There's a song that says this, and even when you feel like he's not, like you just don't see him, you don't see a manifestation, you don't see the promise coming to pass. Look, God is working in the background. Is our job is just to trust him and believe that he is doing what he said he would do. So maybe like a couple of months ago, it had to be 6 7 months ago, because that's how long it's been that I have not been working. And many people don't know this, but the end of 2023, I really faced a lot. It was a lot of opposition, a lot of challenges, just a lot came up. And with me not working, of course the enemy came in like a flood, but God actually set up a standard for me. So when the enemy came in, like, I lost a lot of things, right? But I still trust and believe in the Lord. So about 3 weeks ago, well, actually, um, on Good Friday, I said, okay, God, it's about time for me to go back to working. And the reason why it was that long where I didn't work is because I was nearing the end of getting my degree. I was going back to school for my master's degree, right? So I was nearing the end. So I had this conversation with God, and I just let him know, I'm almost to the end of this, and I feel like it's time for me to go back into the work field. So on Good Friday, I interviewed for a position, and it was a position that I really like. I like I trust God and I believe God, but I still looked at that position like I don't think I qualify for this. I don't think, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know. I don't know about this. And I think I made a post about this too, and I felt it in my spirit that God was gonna do something big for a lot of us, and it wouldn't be like your qualifications, it wouldn't be your credentials, it wouldn't be your degrees, it wouldn't be none of this that gets you into the door, but it would be God. It would be God that do it for you, right? So I applied for the job, and then I applied for another position at this same job. One of the positions I had done before, is case management, and I've done that like throughout my career. So I applied for both of those. When the lady called me for the interview, she just at first she started talking about the job that I had done before, case management, and then she looked and she said, "Hold on, you applied for two positions. One was this and the other was the case management position." So she said, "Which one do you want to interview for?" So I'm like, and then she goes, "Okay, let me go over the pay." So she went over the pay and we talked about it or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot and I'm going to interview for the one that I feel like I'm not qualified for, right? So, but I didn't tell her that. But she said, okay, we'll set you up for the interview. So I went ahead and I did the interview. And maybe like 2-3 days later, they called me and she said, okay, we want to offer the position for you. And I know you said you wanted X amount of pay, but we need to go back to the CEO and see if he would give you a little higher pay than what you're asking for. And I said, okay, that's fine. So when she came back with the offer letter, it was actually more than what I had originally asked for. So I give God all the glory for that. But the kicker was this, and I hope this stirs something up in you to begin to, so you can, build your faith and have hope in the Lord. So I've been working on this job for like 3 weeks now, and I was talking to the director of the program, and she began to tell me that the lady that was in the position before me, um she went to another department within the organization, but she began to tell me that the lady that was in the position before me um left and went to this other department right around the time that I had left my job and was going through all of this that I was going through. So I hope y'all catch this in the spirit. That position was meant for me. God had cleared it out, and it was sitting there waiting for me to get finished with school, waiting for me to do what I had to do until it was my time to occupy that space. God had already made a way for me where that seemed to be no way. He had already he had already made a way for me. He had already set this position up for me because he knew that I would be walking into it. He knew what I needed. And catch this, the position that I have now, glory be to God, I had been declaring this for like a year and a half. I had been declaring this. All my passwords had linked to this. I had put it in I kept saying, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go get my credentials for this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And let me, one more thing. I don't even have the credentials for it yet. I don't even have the credentials for it yet. But God made a way for me. So I pray that in this new season, that you get your faith back, you get your hope back, that you believe again. But the only way that we're going to really be able to walk this thing out is if we walk it with God. Let him lead you. We got to partner with him. We got to stay in his face. We got to be able to hear his word and hear what he's saying in this hour. My God, God is doing some great things. I can feel it in my spirit. I don't even know how to explain it, But I just feel this shift. I feel like God is just being, He's opening doors for His children. I feel like we're under an open heaven. I feel like God has made a way. I feel like these things, like the blessings of the Lord is about to overtake us. Stay in position. Keep your heart postured towards the Lord. You hear me? Do what God has told you to do. Stay in His face. If you work what He has called you to do, there will be no hard laboring. There will be no toil. You will be able to walk with ease into what God has blessed for you, what He has set out for you. I hope this bless y'all. Bye. Love y'all.